All right, we can't go around finding a bunch of Thomas Dambo trolls without first checking in with the original troll, the OG, the Fremont Troll. Here on the corner of North 36th and Troll Avenue North. We're here under the Aurora Bridge in Seattle, Washington. Technically the Fremont area. To revisit the Fremont Troll. Now, I stopped here about 5 years ago with a good friend of mine, but thought it was appropriate to stop back and pay another visit before today's adventure. The troll actually has a real Volkswagen Bug under his grip. And at one time, it was a time capsule. I just love how it looks like he grabbed it right off the highway above our heads. I don't remember these nice stairs being here before, so they must have just added those. Now, this troll was built in 1990 when the Fremont Arts Council started a competition for a public art piece. This troll is 18 feet high and weighs 13,000 pounds. It's made of steel rebar, wire, and concrete. And there's my foot to give you an idea of the scale of this sculpture. There's a pretty iconic scene in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, where they come around the front of the Fremont Troll. They put some vines and foliage on it as a set dressing. All right, moving on to our first Thomas Dambo troll. We made it to the Issaquah Community Center to find something amazing on this trail over here. Look at all the cherry blossoms. They're in full bloom today. It's a beautiful day. So let's hop on the trail and see if we can find what we're looking for. We got a little dog park over here. I love it. There's mountains in the background. Holy crap, it's got everything. Now here's a little clue of what we're looking for today. So we must be on the right track. Into the woods. There's plenty of clean little river streams and ferns and probably some Douglas firs out here. We're here starting a new troll trail called The Way of the Bird King by our favorite recycling artist, Thomas Dambo. Now, this section of the Way of the Bird King trail includes 6 sites in the Pacific Northwest where Thomas Dambo installed large-scaled, recycled, whimsical trolls. And I just love how he's inspiring people to get back outside and go find his trolls. And I think we're about to find our first one. We made it to our first Thomas Dambo troll on the West Coast. This is the Way of the Bird King trail, and this is Jakob Two Trees. He's obviously holding 2 trees, and he has a incredible necklace made of birdhouses. And here's our first close-up look at Jakob Two Trees. He stands around 14 feet tall. And here's a close-up of the necklace made of birdhouses over his fur. It's kind of inviting the forest creatures to come spend an afternoon with him. And here's my size 13 foot. It only fits in the toenail of this troll to give you an idea of the scale of it. He's the first troll to have a ponytail with a band made by the Snoqualmie tribe holding his hair in place. All right, moving on to our next Dambo troll. We made it to our second Thomas Dambo troll of the day, Franky Feetsplinters. He's actually the youngest troll of the Way of the Bird King trail. Let's check him out. If you're looking for Franky Feetsplinters, you can find him here in front of the National Nordic Museum here in Seattle, Washington. Technically in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle. Unfortunately, the museum isn't open today. Would have loved to check that out as well. And there's a sign right over here. It says Franky Feetsplinters. Thomas Dambo is an artist based in Denmark, and Thomas makes sculptures and installations out of recycled materials. This sculpture is part of a series of 6 site-specific installations called Northwest Trolls Way of the Bird King. And if you haven't noticed yet, this is the exact mission we're on right now, to find all 6. Now what's interesting about this troll is the first one I've seen to come out of the forest environment and into the urban city here in a suburb of Seattle, which is nice if you have mobility issues and you couldn't do a rugged trail in the woods. This would be a great one to visit and see a troll with your own eyes. He stands about 20 feet tall, I would say. I guess it does make sense that this is the troll that's wandered out of the woods. Franky is the youngest and most curious of all the trolls on the trail. And I was going to sit on this bench and visit with Franky, but as you can see, he kind of put it out of commission here. And I can only guess that's how he got the splinter in his foot, for the namesake of Franky Feetsplinter. All right, heading to Lincoln Park in the west side of Seattle to find our next troll. We made our way to Lincoln Park here in Seattle, Washington. And I believe this is the most strenuous hike we will take on this trip, looking for a troll. Not only through forest, but also down the side of a cliff until we reach the beach of the Puget Sound. And that should be where we find troll number 3. Bruun Idun. Oh boy. Hopefully there's no wild animals out here. I'm not in Cleveland anymore. And today I'm riding solo. That's kind of muddy. Let's try to go this way. All right, moving on. Hey buddy, have you seen a troll around here? He's got a stick or something. So many crows out here in Seattle. Whew, I'm out of breath. I'm just glad I'm still young enough to do these hikes, even though technically I'm one day over the hill. Ooh, I think I see the Puget Sound out there, so we gotta be getting close. Well, this hill is gonna be great going down, but coming back, I'm gonna be crawling. Woo! I think I see her down there, but we're not quite there yet. But just look at all the moss and green. Oh, there's a little squirrel guy here. Hey, buddy. I got ferns everywhere. These big old Douglas fir trees. They go way up. All right, I see the water, so we gotta be close. We can do it. All right, we made it to the bottom of the trail. Now we just gotta find that troll. So come down to the bottom of the trail and find these yellow buildings. Walk past the front pillars, and I'm pretty sure the troll is gonna be right over here. I can see the plaque out there in front of it. Hopefully we have it all to ourselves, but there's plenty of people out exercising and enjoying the morning, and that's good. Oh, I think I see her. This is so awesome. The grand reveal. Right here on the shore of the Puget Sound. Her name is Bruun Idun by Thomas Dambo. And I gotta say, this is probably so far my favorite troll. She is like such a beautiful thing I've ever seen. Look at this tree behind her. This is freaking incredible. I gotta stand next to her and get a side-by-side comparison. All right, we finally made it to a very special Thomas Dambo troll, Bruun Idun. And I just cannot get enough of that special flute where she's playing her song to the whales out in the water. I love it so much. It was totally worth hiking all the way down that hill. Now the story of Bruun Idun is she stands on the shoreline watching over the Puget Sound as a protector of the water. She plays her flute made of driftwood to the orcas, asking why they all have left the Puget Sound. And her flute was made by artist John Halliday, who's also known as Coyote from the Muckleshoot tribe. Just look at all the detail in that face. I gotta tell you, the flute, the face, the fact she's a beautiful piece of recycled material in the foliage on the shore of the water here. She's definitely my favorite troll so far. And on August 25th, the mayor of Seattle declared it Bruun Idun Day. So every August 25th, they celebrate her protection of the water. I just met some nice people from New York over there that gave me some information about seeing our next troll. So on to the next troll, and we gotta hike back up that humongous hill over here, which I'm not looking forward to, but I can do it. All right, that's gonna do it for the trolls on land here in the Seattle area. It's time to take my rental car to a very large ferry boat over to Bainbridge Island to find our next troll. Look at how nuts this is. To get to the troll, I have to take my car on a ferry to go see him. Here we go. I'm scared. I'm very scared. Goodbye, Seattle. I hope it doesn't turn into an episode of Lost. We're here at Sakai Park, here on Bainbridge Island, on the other side of Seattle. And according to these birdhouses over here, I think we're on the right trail. A little further down the path, and there's a clue down here that says, "Troll this way." We're here looking for our fourth Thomas Dambo troll, Pia the Peacekeeper. And I think I see her right over here. And here's our first look at Pia the Peacekeeper. Let's check out the sign. It says, "Enjoy this beautiful setting and the amazing troll by Thomas Dambo. Help us keep Pia healthy and happy, and keep yourself safe by not climbing on her." And I think we can gladly oblige all of these rules. Pia the Peacekeeper is sitting here in a grassy meadow, keeping the peace beneath the trees. She's easily 18 feet tall sitting down, and has a beautiful ocean necklace made of seashells and driftwood. Just look at these hands. They look like they could squeeze a human and toss them around like a rag doll. And I think I'm gonna get that photo op right now. I've kind of noticed that all of these trolls are both inviting and intimidating at the same time. I love those branches up there that are perfectly placed to make up her hair. Those slats of recycled pallets, they're placed to make up the coat of fur. And whoa, baby's got back. It's kind of crazy to think that all of this wood would just be rotting in a landfill somewhere without Thomas Dambo's vision of turning trash to treasure that everyone in the community can enjoy for free. I'm going to spend a few minutes with Pia the Peacekeeper, and then we have to take another ferry to find the king of the trolls. Moving on. Starting to see landfall, and there's a ferry coming back. I had to pay $25 to get here, but I don't think there's a fee to come back. Oh man, I'm having a total Jack and Rose moment right here at the front of the ferry. I'm the king of the world! All right, I think we finally made it to the right spot. As you can see, the birdhouses are up above, which is always a good clue. We're here at Point Robinson Park on Vashon Island. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And the only way you can get here by car is by ferry. So that was quite the experience. There's those birdhouses up there. All right, we found another clue to find the king of the trolls. think I see him. I can't believe we might actually have him all to ourselves, which is incredible. Can you kind of see him starting to poke his head out? And I almost didn't come here. I was scared to take the ferry. I'm like, I'm by myself. And I'm like, there is no way I'm gonna miss this. He's got his staffs in the ground with birdhouses. The greenery out here is so incredible. We made it to the king of all trolls, Oscar the Bird King, who was Thomas Dambo's last troll he built on his 100-day trip. Let's go check him out. And let's take a closer look over here. The king is well over 20 feet tall, sitting on his throne made of tree trunks. He is definitely in command of everyone's attention when they come to visit him. And I would say Oscar has the best beard of all the trolls. It's not showing the grays like mine. He wears a crown of birdhouses on his head that is towering among the treetops there. And just look at those beady king eyes up there. It seems like no matter where you stand around him, his eyes follow you. I've seen a few kids show up and leave gifts like these seashells on Oscar's toenails. I'm not sure what that represents, but I'm all for it. And they've got these very unique log benches over here that I'm going to use and spend a few minutes with the king before we make the very long drive to Portland, Oregon to see our final troll. All hail Oscar the Bird King. We made it to the Nordia house here in Portland, Oregon, and we finally made it to the final troll on the Way of the Bird King Trail here in the Pacific Northwest. Today we're here to find Ole Bolle. Now if you see this sign out front, then you know you're in the right place. And this sign definitely tells us we're in the right place. And just like all the other trolls, the clue we're looking for is the birdhouses. Now if you're facing the entrance of the Nordia house, you want to go left to hop on the trail to find Ole Bolle. And I thought it was interesting that the name and the origins came from an old Danish troll song. And another sign that says this way. I see some little red houses back here. I'm pretty sure that's what we are looking for. Oh man, I see a peek of it right there. Let's check out the sign. It says Ole Bolle. This sculpture is part of the Northwest Trolls Way of the Bird King exhibition, a public art project by artist Thomas Dambo. And we have accomplished all of these trolls. We went and saw Oscar the Bird King, Franky Feetsplinters, Jakob Two Trees, Bruun Idun, Pia the Peacekeeper, and we made it to our last troll right before I leave for back home, Ole Bolle, which is right over here. This one is so awesome. It's actually peeking into somebody's house. It's so big I can't zoom out far enough. I wonder if you can see him from inside the house. That is so good. Could you imagine waking up to this giant peeking into your roof? They've got these signs over here. It says, "There's something in the air. That something makes my belly rumble. Something smells so strong, it hits me, almost makes me stumble. Could it be the little people cooking something smelly in the big red cookie jar so I can put them in my belly?" Now my only question is he after the cookies, or is he after the people making the cookies inside? Let's get in here and take a close-up look at this amazing face. Just look at all the detail. I love it. Here from the backside of Bolle, this is a great view of Dambo's craftsmanship. You can see all of those recycled wood pallets that his team and local volunteers used, truly creating his trash to treasure artistic statement. And the best part is, it's here to visit for free. Every troll we visited on this trip is absolutely free. I was chatting with those two wonderful ladies over there earlier. I think they're from Iowa, and they couldn't believe that I was all the way out here from Cleveland. With them inside the house over there, you can kind of get him an idea of the scale of Ole Bolle as he peeks in the roof. He's about 19 feet tall on his knees. So just imagine how tall he would be if he stood up. All right, that's gonna do it for Thomas Dambo's Trail of the Bird King. I can't believe we saw all trolls in such a short time, but now it's time to get back to Cleveland. So I just want to say thanks for following along on this trip, and until we meet again, I'll see you next time.